name is Mauricio. I'm the lead singer of Nightlights. I do most of the lyric writing and melody writing for the band. And we're called Nightlights because we believe that we all have some kind of shit we gotta get out of our system, and we want to be better as people, and we think that no matter how small the light is, as long as we kind of all put our part in being better, it can change the world, you know, when we come together. So I'm going to be talking about my gear, which is, if you can check it out, it's right in front of me. So as a singer, my voice is my instrument, and I've tried to figure out ways to make my voice sound better. I've always been a little insecure about it. So I picked up this Voice Live 3 over here, and TC Helicon has done a phenomenal job with just making it kind of seamless and really intuitive. And basically you can just process your vocal in so many ways. You can do distortion, you can do doubling it up, you can do delays, reverbs, harmonies, you can do auto-tune, anything that kind of helps you just make it a little different and unique live. Because I mean, there's a lot of people that put their stuff on tracks, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I find that there's this just a special element of having to stomp around and actually having to, like, people actually seeing it happen live that makes it really unique. And so I have everything from there's this one function in here that has stutter effects, so it'll basically sample if we have a certain BPM on a song, beats per minute, I can step on it and it'll take however much I tell it. If it's a quarter note, or if it's a half note, or if it's an eighth note, it'll take however much of that BPM and just sample a section as soon as I step on this button. And so it's really cool. So like in a certain drop, for example, I'll yell like ah and step on it, and it'll go like up, 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 up. And, you know, it has this cool live effect where you're like, oh, he's doing that live, and it looks really cool. Basically, I've tried all of their products. If anything, like, I would love to be endorsed by them someday. But for now, I went through everything, starting off with the Voice Live Touch, which is this like little pad that it was on your mic stand, and you could touch around and do the same thing you can do basically here, but it was all physically with your hands. And because I was playing guitar, it was kind of not the best, and it comes with this like foot switch that you could kind of, I have somewhere, but I'm not using it anymore because this is a foot switch now. And so eventually it became something that I evolved from this to the Voice Live 2, and then which I found out James Blake uses, and James Blake is one of my favorite singers, and he's just really good with vocal stuff. And so I looked around and saw that he had the Voice Live 2, so I upgraded to the Voice Live 2, and eventually landed on the Voice Live 3, which just has more features, including guitar stuff, which I don't know, maybe a year ago, I was playing a lot of guitar and singing on Nightlights, and this is kind of the first tour where we're like hands off, just vocal stuff. But because it had guitar effects, I could have presets for each song and have my vocal effects and my guitar effects kind of simultaneously happen as I switch through from song to song. And it was just a really cool thing. And now that's why I got the Voice Live 3, because Voice Live 3 has both guitar and vocal effects. And yeah, there's a newer version called the Voice Live 3 Extreme, which I tried out, and it's phenomenal, but it basically syncs your vocal effects to the tracks that you're using, so you don't have to stomp around. But I kind of like stomping around. I think it gives it this kind of cool like element to the filming, and so that's what drew me to this specific model. And most of what I use is reverb, honestly, and it switches from song to song just because I like specific reverbs on specific songs. I think it sets the mood really special, and I don't want to leave that to just like although sound guys tend to be amazing and everywhere you go, I just want to have it just be specific to songs. There's some special songs like one of our first EPs, we had the song called Stutter, and I used that stutter effect a lot. And it'd be really cool because people wouldn't know what was happening, and the song kind of has this breakdown where it goes into 7 bars of 7 and 1 bar of 8, so it's kind of hectic and it feels like you're stuttering. And I'd use the step thing, and it would use my voice and some delays and craziness to like make it feel like I was like stuttering in person, and it was really cool. So that's one of the most noticeable ones. And the song Childish, we decided to use a little bit of auto-tune in the chorus because it sounded kind of different and cool, and so I also used auto-tune on that for just this specific hook, and it comes on and off so that it feels kind of like, so it doesn't feel like it's auto-tuned, like, oh, you can't sing it, so you're using it, but it feels like a tool instead, and lots of delays here and there just to give it some dynamic and stuff like that. But I think the most noticeable thing is the stuttering effect that I use in the song Stutter, and right now we're doing a cover of Justin Bieber that's really cool. It's Can We Be Friends? That song, and so during the chorus I use the stutter effect, and it's also kind of a cool element. I like to be subtle, so sometimes I use like doubling effects to fatten up the voice and make it feel like I'm singing on top of myself without having it be on tracks. And I also use some harmonies here and there, just like octaves down and octaves up to make it also just feel like kind of cool and different and special. Yeah, so the machine is a really cool tool for people like me that aren't proficient enough on keyboards, where I can play the keyboard and sing at the same time. Even if I can't come up with the chords, it would take a lot of practice. So it gives us the opportunity to like set up some synths or some sampling. So like we have a song called Things We Used to Know, and the whole chorus, the hook, is a kind of vocal chop thing where we grab my voice and it's kind of taking different parts of the song that we've heard already and making a phrase that's the chorus, which is doesn't matter. But here I can just like sample release it, and it's this cool element where like people don't know if I'm singing it, if I live sampled it, and it's this like it's just a really cool moment where like you don't know exactly how we're doing it, whether it was previously like tracked and released, or if it's something that we were live tracking and releasing on the spot, and it's really cool. As well, you can just upload some synth sounds, some big bass sounds, whatever we need, just to make it feel live, because I think all of us in Nightlights really admire when the performance is like all visible. Like, I don't want to see a sick bass line and be like, who's playing that, and notice that nobody is. I want to see somebody like slap that bass or do something on the keyboard or something. And so this allows us to do a little bit of both, where we're still playing it live and you can mess up, but it's not as complicated as like playing something crazy. So this gives me a chance to really perform with a microphone, engage with the crowd, and also focus on something else. And you're gonna get the chance to see it tonight, which I think is gonna be cool. So I travel around with my blue microphone. It's a Encore 100. It's a little beat up. I use it a lot, and it's a really sweet mic. It looks cool, and I mean, it's a little heavy on the bright side, so I have to use a little bit of stuff on the voice live to make sure it doesn't, I don't know, like hurt. It can pierce ears sometimes, and so, but it's a really cool mic. It's a dynamic microphone, which is pretty cool, and it's a little low on the like I have to really boost up the gain to get it to sound awesome, but it makes my voice sound milky and sweet, which I like. Yeah, so this is definitely my go-to microphone, and I mean, sure, SM58s are also dope, but I prefer this one, honestly. Might actually use it tonight. You should definitely check out our music. We only have one song on Spotify for now, but we'll be releasing a bunch starting February. Really cool new stuff. You can keep in touch with us on Instagram. We love getting to know the people that like what we do, and ask questions. We love talking about our gear. We love talking about our music, about our lyrics. I personally love talking about lyrics. So follow us on We Are Nightlights on Instagram, at We Are Nightlights, Facebook, We Are Nightlights, wearenightlights.com, all that stuff. We love to hear from you guys. And thank you for your ears.